Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to continue to have a look at the remnants of Storm Babet as it is now starting to clear, and by tonight into the early hours of Sunday all places will finally be dry and the rainfall will cease. Unfortunately though, we've still got a number of hours to go until that is the case, with heavy showers still in the south and the east. We still have various yellow, amber and red warnings for rain in Scotland, although expiring within the next 9 hours as I am recording this. However, as we will see over the next few days on the UKV and on some of the longer range models like the GFS, GM, ECMWF, and of course looking at the ensembles as well, we are looking likely to remain fairly unsettled and fairly stormy, with more patches of very heavy rainfall and stronger winds to come as we close out October. So yes, rain is ceasing. We're probably going to see a dry Sunday, and for some even dry Monday, but rainfall will be returning for Tuesday and Wednesday. And because of the amount of rain that's already fallen, we are likely to see further yellow and perhaps even amber warnings to come over the next couple of days and the next couple of weeks. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, which do like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. As I said, if we start on the live radar, the main impacts left of Storm Babet are across Scotland at the moment, where we do have this heavy area of rainfall. We've even got some snow mixing in over the highest ground, as we have got cold air undercutting it coming out of Scandinavia. We thought that could have been more of an influence this weekend, but it has shifted further northwards over the last couple of days. So yes, many areas could have been colder this weekend, but that cold air really staying just to the north of Scotland. Now, this is the heavy rain that's causing the yellow, amber and red warnings at the moment, and it actually is already starting to subside. The red warning is where we've got some of these lighter patches of rainfall, where we are actually starting to see breaks in it at the moment. Still got an amber warning though, where we're seeing some snow and rainfall across northern Scotland. So still raining, but the heaviest stuff has now passed and it is subsiding by the hour, and this will eventually clear and all areas will turn drier. The one problem though is with river flooding, as we are likely to see over the next couple of days. The rainfall is, or the flooding happens maybe 12 hours to 24 hours or even more after the heaviest rainfall does come. So unfortunately, yes, rain is probably going to stop falling out of the sky in the next 6 hours or so, but we are likely to continue to see flooding in places over the next couple of days, with some of these rivers peaking through Sunday and Monday. Again, if you're interested in seeing the flooding potential where you are or anywhere around the country, do check out the Environment Agency, as they will have the latest predictions on river levels. I have seen some predictions, as I said in yesterday's video, of up to 5 metres in elevated river levels. Again, a lot of these areas already do have a couple of metres of contingency, and of course we also could add a couple of metres on top of that with flood defences, but 5 metres is going to cause havoc in some areas. It already has and will continue to over the next couple of days. Further southwards, we do have some rainfall around. The heaviest rain across northern England has now subsided, but we are still seeing some heavy rain across the southeast, as we got some showers popping up as we got a little centre of the low, bit of a area of low pressure towards the channel. Most of that heavy rain though is into France, just a few heavy thundery showers breaking out in the southeast. Really on and off rainfall, but with very saturated ground, again, could cause a few problems where these showers do prolong. Now, the temperatures this afternoon are pretty poor. Look at that, yellows at best in the southeast, most areas lighter blues, and even some light blues across Scotland, which is touching close towards low single digits or freezing. So, yeah, pretty chilly day, pretty miserable day. And if we do put on the past 24-hour precipitation, we can see the amount of rainfall that has fallen over the course of the last 24 hours. Again, still got some very heavy rain in the last 24 hours across northern England, and of course where we've seen the amber and red warnings over the past 24 hours in Scotland. And remember, this is only in the past 24 hours. The previous 48 to 72 hours has seen double, triple, or even quadruple this amount of rainfall. Again, just exacerbating issues. But luckily, it is subsiding and will be subsiding over the next few hours. Now, if you just run through the warnings quickly, we've only got warnings now issued for Scotland. We've got this widespread yellow warning that has been updated this morning, and you can see rainfall accumulations over southeastern parts of Scotland no longer expected to result in impacts. So these areas have been removed. So the southeast of Scotland has been removed from this warning, this morning, which is a positive. But still, 50 to 100 millimetres are expected across these areas. High impact, low likelihood. This warning expiring at midnight tonight. The amber warning is expiring at 6 p.m, so in only a few hours' time, 30 to 50 millimetres, widely 70 to 100 millimetres of rain locally, and the red warning also expires at 6 p.m. So luckily these have been brought forward. Yesterday they were expiring at midnight, so obviously the rainfall has been moved through quite a little bit quicker than expected. I did see that in yesterday's video. A lot of the rainfall was clearing by 6 p.m, and I did state that. And of course, the Met Office now has reflected that in their weather warning. So it is a good sign that the warnings have shrunk a little bit, but still significant nonetheless. 70 to 100 millimetres are expected, or have been expected here over the period. Luckily, only a few hours left, but the impacts will continue through into the next few days. And then finally, we've got this amber warning issue for northern Scotland. Again, it's going to hold on to that rain a little bit longer. So this one expires at 10 p.m. It still is raining very heavily here. Will continue to over the next few hours. 40 to 60 millimetres widely, 80 to 100 millimetres in upland areas. But as I said, warnings are expiring. And look at Sunday. First day in about 4 or 5 days now where we have got no warnings issued. Still will be problems on the ground, but luckily nothing impactful falling out of the sky. Now, if you look at the latest UK view, we'll be able to run through the next couple of days. We'll have a look at the precipitation and the temperature, as we are going to continue to see heavier rain, especially as we head into the middle of next week. You can see through this afternoon that heavier rain is clearing northern Scotland. Those showers are slowly clearing the southeast as well, and it will be much brighter through the evening. For all areas, really, a few odd showers here or there, but most are dry through Sunday. But look out to our southwest. More rain is trying to push in for Republic of Ireland. It does make an initial attempt, but it does stall through much of Monday. But Monday afternoon into the evening, we start to see heavy rain arrive once again. So much of Monday is going to be dry, all of Sunday is going to be dry, but rain returns for Monday evening, and a heavy batch of precipitation moving in from southwards to northwards, and again could cause problems. Not as heavy as the rainfall we've seen this weekend or the past week or so, not as prolonged either, but still could see yellow warnings issued for this because of the amount of rain on the ground already. Beyond that, the rainfall continues to push through much of Tuesday, and seeing areas of rainfall just linger, and then another big weather front arrives to Wednesday into Thursday, and more batches of heavy showers do follow in behind. So yes, rainfall continuing through this week, feeling very unsettled and fairly stormy as well. If we do quickly have a look at the wind gusts, nothing too serious over the next few days, but still gusty at times at 40, 50 miles per hour for coastal areas, so it's still going to remain really quite unsettled. As we saw yesterday, the max temperatures are actually going to be fairly stationary, really, as the air masses are going to be fairly consistent around that sort of mid-teens to low teens point. You can see through Saturday afternoon, low single digits across Scotland, cold, but elsewhere, mid to high single digits towards the low teens, maybe even mid-teens in the far southeast, where hang on to some slightly milder air. Tomorrow afternoon, temperatures are pretty consistent. High single digits in Scotland, low teens elsewhere. Again, cool, but much better than it's been recently. Into Monday, again, pretty much the same. Low teens for most, pretty much the average for October. And that's the same into Tuesday. Again, low teens. Wednesday, again, low teens, maybe just pushing mid-teens in the southeast. And Thursday will be another similar pattern as the air masses are oscillating, but not having much impact on the surface temperatures, as we are seeing lots of cloud and rain between those air masses, keeping us pretty much around average for the time of year. Now, to do briefly now, just to end the video, but have a look at the longer range. You can see the latest from the GFS. We've got plenty of low pressure still hanging around, and it is going to continue to give plenty of precipitation and winds over the next few days. And you can see as we head into next week, more low pressure arriving in off the Atlantic, giving very unsettled conditions in places. Look at that, lots of low pressure arriving and more of these tighter isobars moving in off the Atlantic. And look at that, continue to see the blues exiting out of Greenland, lots of low pressure getting pushed our way, keeping us extremely unsettled at times. Could be some brief high pressure as well, but mostly low pressure, unfortunately. And after you compare to the GM, again, looking at that, big low pressure still dominating us, and it's continued to be very unsettled over the next few days. And as we do move through, lots of low pressure, again, continuing to push in off the Atlantic. Still some blocking to our north, which could stall the low pressure systems, giving us more persistent rain. But as we head right towards 240 hours, still, look at that little low pressure system just parked right on top of us, continuing to give us very horrible conditions as we do move towards the Halloween period. The ECMWF is pretty much the same. Low pressure continues to push in off the Atlantic, keeping us very unsettled and stormy. And then eventually into the longer term, more low pressure moving in. Some high pressure trying to move in, but again moving up towards Iceland and Svalbard and Greenland. Again, a bit of a blocking high pressure system, not producing anything dry for us or anything cold, just halting the progression of low pressure, halting those weather fronts over the top of us and just keeping us unsettled like we are at the moment. And to finish, if we look at the latest ensembles, look at that, the upper air temperatures are pretty much stationary in around the average, the 1991-2020 mean, and look at the precipitation, high and consistent through the next couple of weeks. Briefly dry over the next couple of days, but by Monday, Tuesday, that rain returns and doesn't subside here. The 2 meter temperatures, if we have a look at those, are going to be fairly consistent as well. Look at that, around the 13-14 degree mark pretty much every day, tailing off and then the longer term, as that's expected as we progress towards the winter months. But really, not much deviation at all. And finally, if we look at the ECMWF ensembles, they are similar, generally around average, with very little deviation for the next 10 days or so. So real strong confidence from the ensembles and the models. We're going to stay westerly, stay unsettled with average upper air temperatures and lots of heavy rainfall, keeping it pretty horrible, continuing the risk of flooding and of severe impacts from these low pressure and storm systems that are going to continue to move in. So unfortunately, it's looking like proper autumn has arrived. We're now into the wet season. Does look like it's going to be very muddy, very horrible around now for the next couple of weeks and probably for the next few months. We've got very little opportunity for it to dry out. So make sure you stay safe out there. Don't take any risks, of course, going through flood water. And of course, if you are worried about flooding where you are, do check out the Environmental Agency website, and they'll have the latest on the river levels and, of course, the danger of flooding where you are. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.